Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Alahayinawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Alahayinawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Alahayinawa Yahweh Achad Baruch Yahweh, Baruch Yahweh Shai, Baruch Yahweh, Baruch Yahweh Shai, Baruch Yahweh, Baruch Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Rule Well. I also want to say peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. I was a high spirit way in Judah, all right, and I want to go into a lesson, which is a second installment of the 4 virtues of wisdom, all right, and the second installment is going to go into justice, right? Because the 4 wisdom's 4 virtues is not in this order, but prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude. All right, prudence, justice, self-control, and courage. Okay, but 1 second, brothers. Let me get a drink of water right quick. Jake got to do better when it comes to stay hydrated, man. All right, especially in the cold. In the cold, you don't feel yourself getting thirsty, but just the type of work we do, the type of work I do, over time, I can just slowly get dehydrated. All right, but what I want to go into today is is what they call the cardinal virtue, justice. Now, the word justice, all right, goes back to the Latin justitia. All right, now if you look up the word justitia, is also a Roman incarnation of justice. All right, so when you go in the downtown area in your city, you go through the judicial court system. A lot of times you'll see the pagan goddess or the pagan deity Justitia. All right, it's a female. All right, but she's supposed to be the allegorical incarnation of justice. All right, and the Most High, he's a power of justice. All right, because another word that's synonymous with justice is equity. All right, but what justice really means is righteousness. All right, righteousness. All right, so his laws implemented in the earth is a form of justice. All right. Like I said, one of the words that's synonymous with justice is equity and or equality per se, right? Fairness. That's the word, fairness. An example of fairness, which will really be an example of justice, is Leviticus, the 25th chapter, where the Most High gave the law of Jubilee, all right, where you would have to lease out your land, all right, based on the year of Jubilee. Now, we all know every 49 years is the year of Jubilee, all right? And according to the law, Leviticus, the 25th chapter, the land is not literally our land, all right? It's really Yahweh's land. We're tenants on Yahweh's land. But one of the laws of justice or equity, all right, fairness, was that you can lease out the land to other Israelites, all right? That way, because you're really leasing out the harvest. Every year, the land gives what? A harvest. She yields fruit. So really, you're allowing Jake to harvest on the Most High's land. And the reason why it's equity or justice or fair, all right, is because everyone in Israel has an opportunity to lease out that land and harvest their fruit for a particular amount of years. And the leasing price is based on how far or how close you are to the year of Jubilee. So if it's 10 more years to the year of Jubilee, then you lease out the land based on those 10 years or those 10 harvests, all right, going towards the year of Jubilee. But if it's, let's say 30 years we're 30 years from the year of Jubilee, then you charge based off how far we are from the year of Jubilee. But the closer you are to the year of Jubilee, the less you charge. The farther you are from the year of Jubilee, the more you charge. Because you're charging for the amount of yields, all right, the land is going to give forth every year. All right, so the more yields or the more harvest, all right, the more you charge. But that's a form of equity because the Most High has a form of, if you may say, group economics in a sense, where Jake gets his fair share, all right, to build something on the land, gets his fair share of wealth. Okay, so if you go into the scriptures, a word that comes up that's synonymous with justice is equity. All right. Now, if you look at how the kingdom is run, it's inequity. All right. That's why you hear about things like income disparities. All right, income disparities, like. The average Jake household is worth $1,400, but the average Edomite household is worth about $250,000. All right, that's inequity, man. All right, that disparity creates an inequity, injustice. Okay, but the key thing was slavery. So the things that you see, the correlating things that's being said throughout the scriptures, is an echo of justice. All right, for example. All right, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's called justice. All right. There's a saying, ironically, I heard from an Edomite towards the Black Wall Street massacre. All right, in light of nobody really doing anything. All right, to compensate. All right, in light of nobody really talking about it, it is something that went on in history. He said, injustice plus time does not equal justice. Injustice plus time does not equal justice. Esau has this mindset that if a lot of time has gone by from the atrocities that he's done, it's no longer injustice. And our people believe that too. They're under the spell of Christianity. They say, well, that was a long time ago and that wasn't your generation. You wasn't back there. All right? But according to the scriptures, the Most High required that which is past. You know why? Because it's fucking justice, man. See, Yahweh Basham Shai is the greatest king ever in existence. All right? And he's the greatest judge. And a judge has to have a mentality of justice. That's why it tells you what? Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the poor. Thou shalt not take bribes, because that creates injustice. All right? Even in the book of Sirach, the 42nd chapter, it tells you the things that you should not be ashamed of. And one of the things was giving fair judgment to the poor, roughly paraphrasing, because that's a form of justice. You're going to see that Yahweh Basham Shai is all about justice. All throughout the law, it tells you don't pervert the poor. Don't pervert the judgment of the poor, the widow, the stranger. All right? Because that would be injustice. All right? We're supposed to be the ambassadors of Yahweh. And Yahweh is all about fairness. The Most High so much about fairness, all right, that he even gave the heathen time to play on the earth in the form of having kingdoms on the earth. The Syrian Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire, not the Greco-Roman Empire, the Grecians and the Romans, okay? But even people that look at it as like islanders, they had their time. Japhet had his time. He ruled, all right, because the original Romans were Japhet, all right? Moabites had their time. Ammonites had their time. Because that's the Most High giving equity, which is really a form of justice, all right? That's why you have kingdoms, all right, sentence the future judgments in the scriptures based off what they did in the past. Because the Most High is requiring that which is past, and that's a form of justice. That's why there's a book of Obadiah. And this is towards the sentence of Edom. Because of what Edom has done to our people, going back to Babylon, the Babylonian takeover of our people, for lack of better words, man. It tells you in Psalms that I just saw a chariot fly across the sky like a shooting star. But anyway, he saw the Edomites. They push. They push the Babylonians to further take over the land of Judah. We went hiding, and Esau said, "There go those niggas." Erase it, even to the foundation thereof. Like destroy them, man. Because you're gonna find out the Most High, He's a man of principle. Like a real man is a man of principle, man. And one of his principles is justice. All right? It's justice, man. All right? Justice. Fairness. All right? That's where we get the saying, eye for an eye, because that's justice. Tooth for a tooth. That's justice. All right? For lack of better words, he that stealeth a man and sell him shall be put to death. That's justice. All right? If you murder somebody, you got to be murdered. That's justice. Now, in this kingdom, you can't up and... No, I'll take that back. If you murder somebody, you got to be put to death. That's justice. Because if you get put to death for murdering somebody, then that's not murder. You murder, but you got put to death, and it's a difference. Okay? So the Most High built he built his existence of systems. Balance is a form of justice. When the scripture says a false balance is an abomination, it's not just talking about weighing scales, man. It's talking about equity and fairness. All right? That's why this man Edom has such a great future judgment, because he haven't received his fair share, all right, within the balance. He put in a lot of death, man. He put in a lot of wickedness in the earth. Now he has to receive pay or reward for that wickedness, because that's justice. That's why it says in the book of Psalms, who will rise up against the evildoers, who will speak on this injustice that's happening in the planet Earth because of this man's rulership. Okay? We've been in Christianity is a religion of injustice. Beat the shit out of me and I just turn the other cheek, man. A whole nation that conquered your people, all right? Raped your women, your children, emasculated you, dehumanized your ass, got rich on 300 years of your labor, and we're supposed to forgive and forget. Meanwhile, the average black woman can't forget her daddy. All right? Meanwhile, all right, Jake mad at your ass over $5. All right? Meanwhile, Jake commit the most atrocious acts within his own nation. Adultery. We got adultery culture, man. We got a sneaky ass culture, man. Death, murder, but they don't want to be rewarded for what this man, or justified for what this man has done to them, man. And then the ones that do, they wanna get their payback with their own hands. All right. That's why the book of Psalms said, King David said, "Well, wait, I say, on Yahweh." See, when Yahushua enters into this plane, he's going to enter into this earthly plane, all right, to pay back justice. Isaiah 63rd chapter, all right? Who is this that coming from Edom, all right? With dyed garments. And that's a metaphor for all the blood that's going to be on his clothes, metaphorically speaking, because he's going to commit the act of justice. See, when we preach Yahushua and they propagate Yahushua on the news, a so-called black messiah is going to commit the act of terror. They put him out like he's some occultic figure that we made up. No, he's a man, all right? He's an entity of justice. He's coming in the earth like a judge, man. That's why he's called the Grim Reaper. He's the Grim Reaper. All right? Because he's going to be an agent of justice. All right? Yahushua is going to be an agent of justice, man. All right? So this man that's ruling in this planet Earth, he hasn't received. That's why they had this show. Excuse me for skipping the subject. That's why they had this show called Cold Case File. I used to watch this back in the world. I used to love that show. Because there'd be you could commit an act back in the 70s. You might be 22 years old. Now you 70 years old with grandkids. And all of a sudden, the police come in and arrest you because they finally had the technology to catch up with your wicked ass, man. And realize that it was you. All right? And they'll show the transition from when you were like 22. Then they'll show like that transition and you turning real old and they still coming to arrest your ass because you did some shit back in the 70s and shit, you know? But yeah, back when, you know, Esau was wearing beards with the curly mustache, back when Esau had them long Abraham Lincoln hats, man, that was your cold case shit right there. All the atrocities you committed during the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, 1900s, year 2000s. All right, then that transition to your ass wearing suits and ties and shit, with shaved beard. Now your ass you finna receive payback by the agent of justice. Yahweh Shai is the agent of justice. All right, Joel 3rd chapter, World War III. It tells you that this is gonna take place because of what you did to our people. This is because the selling of our people was a global injustice. All right, selling our people was a global injustice. There's going to be a global war. All right, that's why it's called the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the Valley of Yahweh's judgment, man. That judgment is justice, based off the mass selling of our people and the mass enslavement of our people. All right, so there's going to be just how there's a global slave trade, there's going to be a global war amongst those same countries. All right, a world war. It tells you in the book of Maccabees, roughly paraphrasing, who hasn't profited off the enslavement of our people. Okay. And not just the southern kingdom, but the northern kingdom. All right? Because you did that to the apple of Yahweh's eye, man. See, we're the bad guys for saying that you're the bad guy. All right? But we're screaming for justice. And not for you to put yourself out of rulership. All right? Because we don't expect you to do that. We're screaming for Yahweh Shai. That's why it says in Isaiah 62, and give him no rest. We're screaming for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, to implement justice in the earth, which is going to engender you being put out of rulership, buddy. And the ultimate result is your kingdom, all right, being taken out of the earth and America being destroyed, because that's justice, man. All right. So another cardinal virtue, another virtue of wisdom is justice. All right. That's why you're called a hypocritical nation, man. You have these, you uphold these words verbally: justice, equity, balance. You got the scales in your court system, but we all know that you're systemically designed to be a predator, all right, to the 12 tribes. All right. You're a monster in the earth, man, and you're the epitome of injustice and equity, man. But that's why you're going to be judged by the agent in the power of justice, man. 1 second. Hey, but with that, I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I'm sorry, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim Chakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Baal, Kamar Shalom, Shalom. And I'm going to park so I can read this brother's scripture. All right. park this car. This is about anointed, refreshing. 1 Kings 3:9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, woo, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And this was King Solomon praying this to the Most High, because the Most High made him king as a young man. And this is what he prayed. He prayed for the heart of ultimately justice. All right. And the Most High was so pleased by this prayer because he did not pray a materialistic prayer. The Most High roughly said, you could have prayed for gold, riches, women. You prayed for really discernment to implement justice in the earth for your people. And in turn, the Most High gave him the ultimate riches, man. But he also gave him ultimate wisdom. All right, I read that again. 1 Kings 3:9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. And that's justice. That's having the virtue of justice, understanding good and bad, man, and ultimately doing the right thing. It goes back to elementary school. It goes back to the things you're supposed to be taught at 5 years old. Do the right thing. Do the right thing, man. All right. And this nigga has never done the right thing in the earth. I'm talking about Esau, Edom, man. All right. Even within his own kingdoms, you go into the Roman empires, it is backstabbing, betrayal, you know, greed. Esau is the perfect example of what not to do when you come into power, man. But, oh, another thing, the so-called black man, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man was propagated in the earth as the embodiment of injustice. We're the evil people, we're the bad guy, and Esau, Edom is the police. You know, he always paints a picture of himself in the earth as like the agent of justice, man, for lack of better words. Even in his Hollywood movies, you know, Ishmael is always the bad guy. All right, he goes to some other country and he's the hero. Esau makes his own characters like 007, a fictional character, all right, but really to be the agent of justice, man. And he's a kick-ass character. There's always some kick-ass character, man. All right, but in real time, no, you're the bad guy on the earth, man. Don't get me wrong, Ishmael had his fair share of evil, and I'm not justifying no heathen, but nigga, you the bad guy, man. Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he should take no pleasure in his goods, man. All right. And that's another thing too. You know, being good to yourself, that's a virtue of justice. Okay? Because you have to commit justice to yourself, for lack of better words. You have to do the right thing to yourself and the people around you. Because if we're going to be a judge, it tells you the saints should judge the world. Should we not judge the smallest matters? We got to learn how to judge affairs and our personal affairs and our domestic affairs, man. When you got sons and daughters and they do childish things, you have to judge those things. Do they deserve discipline? All right. Time out or whooping, you know, take the tablet, whatever. But you're weighing scales, man. We're practicing being judges in our day-to-day life. Sirach 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And one that is profitable is Yahushua, because he's a righteous judge. Under him will be King David, which would be a righteous judge. How are we going to be a righteous judge? Because we're going to judge with the laws of Yahweh. We're going to weigh the scales, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He says he's going to put the laws in our mind. That's like being a lawyer and you memorize every law out the law dictionary, man. Those law books, that's like you know every law, man. So all 613 laws are going to be put into our spirit and our subconscious, and that's going to make us perfect judges, man. We're going to do the right thing in the earth, man. There's not going to be any plastic in the earth. There's not going to be any global warming. There is not going to be any adultery, LGBTQ, unlawful foods being sold. All right. We're going to weigh the scales amongst the nations. The Most High, we're going to be set up as jurisdictions. We're going to have jurisdictions within the different nations. That's why Yahweh Shai, through the Spirit, is going to put crowns on the elect. That's just not metaphorical. All right, it's not that's not just a metaphor. All right, you're going to be set up in jurisdictions over different nations, just like in Jerusalem in the New Testament. You had jurisdictions over Jerusalem. That's why it's recorded in the scriptures. The Jews, the Hebrews, the so-called black people, they was going to Caesar, because you had the Roman Empire, but within the Roman Empire, it was governors set up over, Israel cities. That was throughout the whole Roman Empire, what you will call a providence. So the Most High is going to set up providences within Yahweh Shai's kingdom, all right? And we're going to be governors within those providences, man. And we're going to weigh the scales, all right, of civil matters, all right, to implement justice in the earth, all right? So not the saints judge the earth. That's not a metaphor. We're literally going to be judges in the earth. And that's what's going on right now in the earth. And that's why the earth is tilting over, spiritually speaking. All right, there's an injustice in the earth, man. The earth is crying. The trees are crying. The baby crying. All right, there's an injustice in the earth. And contrary to Esau's propaganda of him being an agent of justice, all right, the Israelites, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, is going to be agents of justice, man, under Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The more I talk about this, the more I feel in my spirit, and I perceive that justice is a very powerful virtue, man. Doing the right thing, even in life. You know, we still good people. You know, you see somebody drop a 20 on the ground, you see them drop you, hey, sir. You know, that's justice. It's minute, but it's justice. We're the good guy, all right? Revelation 2:26-27. He that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. What's part of that power? Having the authority to judge the heathen through the laws of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Commit the act of justice. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. All right. And the water, brother, for the scriptures. All right, the water to the Akim. All right, to the brothers and sisters who have tuned into this live stream. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters are edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakodash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba, come Yashala, Shalom.